Continuing with the question and answer type of videos I made the past couple days, today's daily vlog is going to be all of your questions you asked me about relationships. Last night I went on Tumblr and I asked you guys just to send me any questions you have about relationships in general, and I didn't think I would get any responses, but I woke up with over 50 questions, so now I am going to make a video trying to answer those questions. All of these questions, except for like 2, are anonymous, so I'm just not gonna say who said them. First question is, do you get friend-zoned a lot, and how do you feel about platonic relationships with girls in general? I don't know if I've talked about this in a video, but I don't really think the friend zone exists. And every time I say that, people get mad at me, but it's like, you're talking with someone and they express that they don't really want anything more than just a friendship, and by you saying you got friend zoned is you kind of disrespecting them because they just want to be friends with you. You want more. If they don't want more, stop pursuing them. I don't know, when people say, oh, she friend zoned me or he friend zoned me, it's like, calm down. Like, there's other people. Just be friends with that person, enjoy their company, and try to pursue someone else in a relationship sense. Alright, next, someone asked, what is your biggest fear about dating? I don't know if they mean like going on dates or being in an actual relationship, so I'll kind of answer both. Biggest fear with going on dates is always, is this person actually interested in me? What are we going to talk about? Are we just going to sit there awkwardly and just kind of look at our watches the whole time to see when it's going to be over? All the fears about going on dates are the very stereotypical stuff that most people deal with. And biggest fear about dating, as in already being in a relationship kind of dating, is essentially it'd be the constant worry of, are they happy? I don't know if that makes sense, but it's hard to explain. Next question, do you think long-distance relationships are worth it or destined to fail? Honestly, I think that any relationship, whether it is you're living next door to the person, you're living with the person, or you're living thousands of miles away from the person, it all just depends on what your relationship is based on. If your relationship is based on solely physical actions, then I definitely think it's destined to fail because you are not seeing each other very much in a long-distance relationship. Now, if a relationship is built on something greater than that and you are actually wanting to grow in love with this person, then I think that long-distance relationships can be just like any other relationship, just in the fact that you're not seeing them as often as a normal relationship. I feel like I ramble a lot, and I feel like none of this is going to make sense when I'm actually saying it, but it all makes sense up here. So if you want greater detail, leave it in the comments below and I can kind of type out what I'm thinking. Alright, this is a good one. The next one is, do you need to be seeing someone to feel like a complete individual? If you need to be in a relationship, if you need someone, a significant other in your life, to feel complete, then you need to rework your morals and rework what you base your life around, because you shouldn't have to live your entire life and find happiness and true joy based on someone else. Now, it is good to have a complete circle and have people that you are close with to make these relationships grow and so that you can grow yourself as an individual, but you do not need to A, be married, B, have a girlfriend, C, have a boyfriend to be a complete individual. Next question, do you think space is important in a relationship and knowing when a partner needs time out, or do you believe that you should do everything together? Call me old-fashioned, but I think having social media, texting, calling, all these different things is very good for staying connected, but at the same time, it's very, very bad. Back in our grandparents' generation, and even some of our parents' generation, you would be dating someone and the only time you would ever talk to them is when you are physically in person. So you would have a conversation with them in person, face to face, then you'd go away for like 17 hours, you go back home, go back through your normal life, and then you'd see them again. And it's like, you have so much more to talk about. There's such a deeper growth with that than constantly texting, FaceTiming, Skyping, whatever you do, because when I've tried to have relationships with people in that way, I feel like it dies really, really quickly because we run out of things to talk about because we're always connected. Next question, is not being in a relationship something you get overly concerned and bothered about, or are you content to be patient and happy until the right girl comes along? I feel like I'm kind of both. Like, yeah, I do want to get married someday, and I do want to be married before I turn 30, which kind of freaks me out because that's only 11 years away. But at the same time, 11 years is a long time, and I am content with life right now. I don't need a girlfriend right now. I don't need a relationship right now, but eventually in the future I will want and need that. But at the stage of life I'm in right now, I don't know how to explain this. I don't want to rush into a relationship. I do want to find the right girl and have a nice long life with that person, but at the current moment I just don't really see anyone in my life that could be that person. So, next question, do you feel there is too much outside pressure for relationships to be physical rather than emotional in those early stages? Absolutely. Especially being on a college campus, when people start to get in relationships, they're mainly solely focused on the physical aspect of the relationship rather than the emotional side, and that's why most of them don't last too long. And I think the emotional aspect is way more important than the physical aspect of a relationship. Next question, what about goals, ideals, and expectations for relationships? Do you think that setting the bar too highly can maybe hold a person back from engaging with a potential partner who may not have been on the radar, that was in quotes, as a future girlfriend or boyfriend? Yeah, I think setting the bar too high really limits yourself, but at the same time, don't settle. Like, again, I guess that goes with peer pressure. Don't feel pressured to get in a relationship. If someone is interested in you but you're not interested in them, let them know so that they can stop pursuing you and you don't have this awkward situation where you're kind of in a relationship but you're not happy, the other person's not happy because you're not giving them your all, and it's just a big whole mess. So be honest with people, but at the same time, have standards, but try not to make them too high. I'm guilty of this. I've set too high of standards in the past, and it's definitely held me back from potential opportunities, but you know. Next question, is a lack of relationship a concern and sadness that you carry around with you all the time, or is it something that you don't think about too much on a day-to-day basis? This kind of goes back to what I was talking about earlier about needing to feel complete in a relationship. I don't carry around sadness with me because I'm single. Like, there are definitely moments where it's like, oh, I wish I was in a relationship. But at the same time, don't think that people that are single, either at my age or even much older than me, are sad because they're not in a relationship, because some people don't want to be in a relationship ever. I mean, I do eventually, but it's not what I base my life around. I don't base my life on someone else. This question's kind of unique. Why do people even need relationships? All they do is hurt and cause pain. Even most marriages seem to end in divorce. I don't think there is such a thing as true love. Maybe true lust, but not true love. In your situation, I'd say you need a different state of mind. You are looking at society and what other people's relationships are based on, and I can honestly say those relationships are not based on love or truth. And if you base your relationship with whomever you may be interested in on truth and love from the get-go, it's going to be a lot more successful and probably won't end in divorce rate, because you will find happiness doesn't come from just the physical aspect of a relationship. It comes from the emotional, spiritual, and every other aspect of the relationship, not just physical. So all those relationships started out probably as, oh, you're hot, let's go do stuff, and then that gets old. I'd just say for you, change your thought process to be a little less hostile. Next question, how do you deal with a bad or awkward date? Now, I don't go on many dates, but over the past year I have been on a few different dates, and a couple of them have been very awkward, not necessarily bad, but mostly awkward. It's like awkward to the point where we're both just kind of looking at our phones, trying to check the time to see when we can leave or go to class or something and kind of get out of the situation. But the way I deal with it is kind of what I just said. I'm not very good at dealing with it, so I just keep trying to make the conversation flow, and if it's not flowing, I just keep asking questions, trying to get to know the person, and if they're not responding in a very open way, it just kind of dies down from there, and I just don't call them back. Is that bad? It's probably bad. Next question, are a lot of your athlete peers in relationships, and do they tend to date other athletes? Or is that not a good idea? A lot of my friends are in some sort of relationship with someone else, and I can say that most of my athlete friends do date athletes, and most of my non-athlete friends do not date athletes. And this brings up another question that someone else asked right after, is do you want to date an athlete or someone that's not an athlete? And I honestly don't really have a personal preference. Seeing as someone's not defined by what they do, whether they're an athlete or not doesn't really matter to me. The only sport I don't really want to date anyone in ever is diving, because that's my own sport and I feel like it'd be centered around diving, and I don't want a relationship and all the conversations to be about diving. I want it to be some different aspect that I can continue to learn about through this person. I don't know, helps conversation flow too, because diving, it's like, oh, we can just talk about our dives. But I don't like to talk about diving. So, no personal preference, just not any divers. And going back to the original question, it says, is that not a good idea? My personal opinion, I don't think it really matters. If you like someone, go ask them on a date before someone else does. How does social media help shape or hurt your ideas of relationships? Social media definitely hurts ideas of relationships, especially for me, because you go on social media and you see these perfect couples. You go on Instagram, all the clothes are matching, they're standing on the beach, they are the ideal relationship goals couple, and then you get in the real world and you never really find anyone like that all the time, so you build too high of standards, or at least I do, and then when the opportunity arises, I'm like, oh, well, we wouldn't look like that in that picture, so I can't really start a relationship with you. So, social media definitely hurts the idea of a relationship. And finally, what is your definition of hashtag relationship goals? I mean, like, that's literally goals right there. Anyway, guys, that is it. Those are all the relationship questions you sent me, and by all of them, I mean all the ones that I can answer, because some of them were not appropriate for video. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for sending in your questions. I really like kind of doing this style of video. Let me know if you have any other questions down in the comments. Maybe we can make a part 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. I don't know. Leave down below any relationship questions you have, and we can all just kind of chat about it. Until next time, I'll see you in tomorrow's video.